Okay, so today we're going to do a little bit more refactoring. We're going to change out these object literals, so these objects, for classes. Now, bearing in mind that object is the actual thing itself, the class is a blueprint for that object. So we want to kind of make a more generic sort of thing where we can make kind of a factory of objects. So in this case, we want some sort of a player class to be able to spit out players, or basically this sort of shape of object. So to do that, we actually have to say class, player, and when we start up, when we make a new object of the player class, it calls what we call a constructor. For the constructor, we want things like these, just the variables that are going to be set. So I'm going to actually copy those. Now they're laid out in a slightly different way. We need to have a this dot x, and we need it equals, and let's change that into a semicolon. So that's kind of the shape. So we want to do the same with the rest. So we'll do this dot y equals semicolon. Same again with the rest of the thing. So we'll put semicolons on the ends. Equal sign between. And a this dot before. So anything you want to kind of set during the starting build of a new object goes in the constructor. We also want all of these functions. So let's go grab all of those. So these functions again are going to look slightly different. Let's get to them. So intersects, all we need to do is we get rid of the word function, like so. And that becomes the intersect. Now we also don't want a comma there. Put like semicolons if we like, or just leave it as is. Draw. Update. And there we go. So we've kind of refactored parts of this. Now, the other thing that we probably want to do is see where we got this, and so on. We want to do the same with this instead of player, because it may not be called player. It may be called Bob or, you know, something else. So we'll say this dot x, this dot y, this dot width, and this dot height. Same thing with all these sort of player parts here. I'm just going to use Control D to select next, until I've got all the players that I want, and change it to this. Just to save having to type them all out like separately. That's basically, is that all of it? You got, yeah. So we've changed all the player to the word this. Okay, so what we can actually do, we could say maybe old player, so it's not the player anymore. Now we can make let player equal to new player. So now we've instantiated a new player object based upon this shape. So if I save this, and I go back to the actual game, refresh the page, I still have exactly the same functionality. So nothing's changed as far as functionality. All that's changed is the actual build-up of this code. This may seem a bit redundant. It's like, well, I've just done that entire thing all over again just to get the same thing. But the thing here is I could have like let Dave equals new player. So we'd have like player 1, player 2, whatever. And that's another object. And we could kind of deal with that separately as a different thing. Now, this isn't too good because they're all kind of fixed in the same size, same place and all that and same speed. But in the constructor, we could take in a X, Y, speed, width, and height. So now, instead of it being hard-coded, we could say X, Y, speed, width, height. So now what happens is whenever we make a new player, we have to kind of provide these things. So we'll say our X is going to be 50, our Y is going to be 50, our speed is going to be 2, our width is going to be 20, and our height is going to be 20. Then this one could be, I don't know, 80, 100, 50, 50, oh no, 50, 50, sorry, 2, 20, 20. We could even choose color or something like that. We can do a lot of different things here. We could kind of say, okay, well, see where this is fill style blue. We could maybe choose like fill, I don't know, just color. So now instead of blue, we just give it a color. In which case, inside the constructor, we'd have to then go comma blue. And maybe this one was red. Then what we could do is see Dave. At the moment, Dave's kind of dealing with the arrows and stuff. So that's a bit of a, they're going to move it the same way, but just as a demo of more than one object, what we can do here is we can say, okay, well, now what I want to do is go down to my actual game stuff. And maybe I now want to draw, I want to do a Dave.draw. Let's not update Dave. Let's just leave Dave where he is without any way of controlling him. Yeah. So if we don't update Dave, he's not going to move with the arrow keys. But Dave will just be on screen. So let's save that. Refresh our page. And I broke it. What have I done? Oh, color's not defined for Dave. Oh, no, color is not defined. What if I'm not? I know why. Guess what I missed out? Where do we have to put all of the data? We have to put all the data in the constructor, don't we? So color is not being set to anything. So this dot color equals color. And that means that we have to actually, instead of saying color down here, where is it? We have to say this dot color because it's separate for each of the different objects that we instantiate. So if I refresh this, we now have a red one that's not moving and a blue one that is moving. If we want them both to move based on the same key presses, we can just go over to the update inside the actual game. So we go all the way down to the game loop. So we've got the update happening there. So we need to go, okay, well, in the update, I want to do Dave.update. Now, if I refresh, Dave's still in that area. But if I use the arrow keys, both of these move along at the same sort of, everything's the same. They're just following these keys. So I'm just kind of, they're working together in the same way. Obviously, it's not a very useful thing if you want two players. You don't want them to have the same controls. But what you could do at this point is kind of make separate controls that they could have. You know what I mean? I mean, it would mean passing in more things, but it's doable. What we could do is we could say, like, have a look at what the controls are. So we know that the controls are like arrow left, arrow up, and all that stuff, yeah? So what we could do is we could say, well, hang on, what is the up, down, left, and right for this? So we could say, okay, well, this dot directions, or this dot key map or something, equals key map. Something like that. And then we pass in a key map. Now we'd have to decide what the key map looks like. We could say that, well, hang on, the key map's going to be, I don't know, an array of things or something. And if it is, then we could say, well, keys of key map, say key map. I don't know, actually we could say key map up. Yeah. If we look, it's the arrow up, right? So maybe we set up key map up to equal arrow up. So let's do that. Let's make an object somewhere for player key map equal to an object containing up, which is going to be arrow up, down, which is going to be arrow down, left, which is going to be arrow left, and right, which is going to be arrow right. Okay, so now we've got this player key map that we can just pass in as the key map for the player. Now, obviously, we've got this sort of way how it is. So if I say up, it will replace with arrow up. So if we look, we've got the arrow up, down, left, and right. So all we have to do is we swap that out for key map. Wherever there's an up arrow, we swap it for a key map up. Where we got an arrow up there, and we swap that out. Key map up. We got another arrow up. Yep, down here. And swap that out for key map up. And we can do the same for the rest. So left, that'd be key map left. And now wherever we've got a key map left, we can put that in. So key map, wherever we've got an arrow left, we swap out for key map left. We've got a right, got left. Should there not be an, there's the other left. Where that went to. Okay, so there's all the lefts dealt with. Same with right. So we want to replace this one with right. And same again with this one. Key map right. And one more. Key map right. Okay, so that's all the right-hand ones. We're getting a bit of a expected square bracket. If I put an extra... Oh, missing one square bracket on the right-hand side of these. I need to make sure I have enough closing brackets there. I think that was it, trying to be helpful. Be awkward. So make sure that we close all these off. So all of them. That one's going to require one more. Hang on a minute. Keys, add that, keys. Hang on a minute. Then again, why have I got keys? I think I've accidentally added an extra one there. Keys at key map left and keys at key map up. That's fine. For some reason, I had an extra keys there for some, I don't know why. Right, so that one's done for left and up. We've just got down left to do. So again, if we go do this, paste that in. That's why I've still got keys here. That's weird. So yeah, again, I've got it there as well. So I'm gonna have to clean that up a bit. But key map down. Get rid of this keys. Wow. Managed to copy keys again several times for some reason. It's only, well, it's one of the downsides to copy paste. Sometimes you kind of end up with a load of stuff you wasn't expecting. I think that's all of those. Now I can get rid of those again. So those were just weird artifacts that weren't really needed. Okay, that makes sense now. Now we've still got a couple of downs. I'm like, oh yeah, there's 2 more downs to do. So I'll just write that in. So it's key map down. Same again here. Key map down. And the nice thing now is whatever key map we pass it is the correct one, if you know what I mean. It means that right now we have this player key map. That's great. This one doesn't have a key map. Maybe I can make a Bob key map, or Dave even. Call him Dave, didn't we? Give it a bit more. Look. Let's say player 2 key map. So we've got player 1, let's say player 1 key map and player 2 key map, for instance. So you could have like 2 players. So player 1 key map is there. And then player 2 key map for this one. Obviously, this needs to be different. I've got to look up the actual like key codes or something for this really, don't I? So it's going to be the next fun part is figuring out what. I suppose I could just say keys and something, because I don't know. I need to look up what the actual key codes are really. Where's my actual? Let me on one key down. It's key event key. So okay, so we want to look up key event key. JavaScript. Just going to actually look that up, so we've kind of got a reference to work with, so I can figure out what those are. I'm hoping we have some sort of thing here, but I don't know. It looks like we've got shift. Don't want sequences. We just want to look at. We've not got a list of these things, right? Oh, ha! Here we go. Here we go. We can kind of find out what the keys are. Okay, so if I want to do WASD, I'll go down here. It's as simple as just a WASD. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, cool. Apparently that's the key. So that should be fairly straightforward. That means we can literally just type in WASD as the things. So for player 2, we'll have WASD. Up is W. Down is S. Left is A. Right is D. Let's see if that works. Let's save that. Let's refresh the page, see what's happening. We've got a problem. Key map is not defined. Why is key map not defined? What do you mean? Oh, I've done it again, haven't I, with this key map thing and not. I've done that. Oh, I know why. Key map's not defined because I haven't put this dot key map in all these places. Yeah. Let's do this. Done. we go. So up, down, left, right's working. And WASDA's working. This is D, A, W, S, up, down, left, right. So these two can actually move completely independently of each other. Of course, that we got like 2-player controls. So you know what I mean about the whole idea of having a class. Now we've got this reusable construct of player. So you can have 50 players if you wanted to. You just give them different key maps. And you could even give them different sort of speeds, different colors, different widths, and different heights. How cool is that? You've now got an actual generic player class, which means we can actually get rid of the old player object. We don't really need that for anything now. Nice little cleanup of code. But now, instead of having that whole player thing every single time, we've got to have a key map and an instantiation of objects. So we could literally just build out so many different objects with this same class. And that's the idea behind this. For homework, I'm going to say, go make a ball class. Think about the things that we need in the constructor. Think about how we move the update and the draw. Think about, instead of saying ball, you'll have to say this for things. And that should be pretty much enough to get an actual ball working. Then you could, if you want to do a bit of stretch, do the floor too. So that's 2 options of things to do. I'd say floor we're probably going to refactor anyway, so you might want to leave that, to be honest. But feel free to have a go at doing some homework of refactoring ball to be a class and then instantiating a new ball. Okay, I think that'll do for this one. It's been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.